In the pictures of Catholic saints with the halo over their head, just pretend. Use your imagination. That's a rectangular halo with frequency infused. Nah, it's a busted up mini blend. Right. Well, updates. Oh my gosh. Spent time on the phone with George. George. It's not George of the jungle. It's George of the beaches out in California. California. So anyway, 2 hours. He likes talking to me because it's kind of like talking to himself. No, we like talking to each other because we're both like pulling out all stops for brainstorming. What about a tiny house community? What about cabins? What about making cabins, building them on site? What about building cabins and bringing in the Dirksen building mini storage cabins? And what about chopping a 40-foot container in two and making 2 cabins out of that and doing 100 cabins on this mile of river on this property he found? So, he's looked at a lot of different things. Just get his family out of California, buy 20 acres, be done with it. The other is get financing from somebody out there and buy 300, 500 acres. He's looked at up to 500 acres. So I've talked about him before, but anyway, be praying for him. He's still working on all that. He's been getting busy, jobs that keep you tempted to stay where you're at. I mean, a TV station or a radio station with something like 40 million, either 14 or 40 million, I don't know which, but a large target base through LA and up to over here and over to there, and I don't know all the cities, so it doesn't make any difference. And he's going to be their backup tower guy. So that's awesome, pay well, good on the resume, but scary as far as the job itself, maybe, and as far as the temptation of, he said it's great, you make money, but then you spend it all, and that's true. Anyway, he's got a lot of capability. Underground homes, monolithic domes, shotcrete, spray foam, concrete mixers, you name it, off-grid internet, intranet, localized microwave-driven internet, boom. He's got it all down. He's done it, been there, done it, so anyway, spent a couple hours talking with him, so always an awesome deal. Haven't heard a today update from Sue, Ron, Shannon at all. So just be praying for them. The Exodus, the California Exodus, convoy, whatever you want to call it. Just pray that everything goes well and that they avoid all imperial entanglements as they're in the process of actually trekking here. Good talk and texting with Gabriel. Really good military insight into my scenario and sit rep here. So be praying for me. Had a good talk with the cat today, which was one of the points that, oddly enough, as I was doing this, you talk about synchronicity. Literally, as I was talking to the cat and reasoning with the cat, Gabriel was writing about reasoning with the cat. Yeah. Go figure that one. That stuff happens all the time. GWAC. They're GWACs. G, what an amazing coincidence. Capital G, W, A, A, C, G. What an amazing coincidence. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. What are the chances of that happening? With men? 0. With God? With Yahweh? 100%. So, there you go. Amazing, interesting, whatever you want to call it. So, all right. I think that's about it. I'm going to read, and then, again, I'm tired. And anyway, been an interesting day. Oh, listen. I'll probably title this for this because this is going to be an update. And hey, freeconferencecall.com. I do lunar conferences, lunar calendar, lunar Sabbath conference calls. So there's no reason not to have one on Saturday. I mean, I'm here to, to minister, to help, to reason with, to encourage people. And also Sue, I'm remiss in that too. Sue wanted me to set one up for internet phone conference driven based conference call for those wanting to relocate. So there's a twofer there, and I'll just do them both in the same number. There's really no reason to do another one. So we can have a weekly Sabbath call, especially for those wanting to relocate or interested in helping finance, interested in getting here, and have it be a we'll do the same thing that they do on the other ones, just read Torah, Torah from the history books, from Psalms, prophets, New Testament and stuff, and have some discussion, have some interaction with the Word, and then the other one being to just to discuss and brainstorm, wow, hey, let's do what about if we, like George and I were doing today, it's always just we got to one point, he's like, wow, this is a good thing we talked this long. And, after 2 hours, right about 1 hour and 50 minutes, we're like, hey, what about, that's a great idea, mini cabins on the river. So there's a property that has just right at an entire mile of a river on it. Now, I'm going to think 3/4 of it is the border, so you've only got half of the river. But for another about 1/4 of the river length, it's on both sides. So you could have, a shire, an underground, earth burned, whatever, cabins on the creek. Call it whatever you want. And he was calling them dry camps, basically bug out locations. You're not going to provide running water. You're not going to provide electricity. You're not going to, but this guy's visionary enough to think of, he knows exactly what a container load of solar panels and stuff costs to get them here. And, because he's figured that into his deal. He's built his own solar operation into a shipping container. So he's got a lot of stuff going on. So, that's one thing we're looking at. But can you imagine a mile of a riverbed, and basically over a mile, because it's not just on one side of the river. There's a portion of it where it's on both sides, so you double that space. You could put a cabin here and a cabin here and a cabin here and a cabin here, and you can say, hi neighbor, across the river, across the creek, So very awesome, 218 acres. Look at it. And if 5 people could go in, 100,000 apiece, you can buy a 500,000 acre property, divide it up, sell it off, and own, not just own your 100,000, but own your chunk of that 500,000, and have some money in the to work with, from the property you sold off. So it'd be a good way to help a lot of people get out of Babylon, get out of the system, because then you have, let's say there's 100 people on property, eventually, 100 people, 100 family community gives you a whole lot more strength. We've seen that in Lights Out, and we're seeing it in, Alachua County, Florida. So we interrupt this program. So there you go. All right. So be praying about that. Definitely something to think about, consider, be praying about. If somebody out there in California could easily go like, oh, sure, yeah, here's $1 million, just invest it wisely, But what we're working on now is come up with a return on investment. What's it going to cost for a 1/4 acre on a cabin on the creek? What is that sellable for, and how much is that going to go toward paying off the $500,000? So 100 of those. So take 500,000, divide it by 100. And, you've got at least some ballpark idea of what it's going to have to, as far as an investment or a sales, target thing. So anyway, just some thoughts, ideas, and whatnot. A lot of, like I said, I'd love to hear from the California operation, but hey, I'm not going to bug them, not by any means. So look at that. I mean, you can do that in your head, but in other words, every 50 feet, a 50-foot wide plot of land, 50, okay, at 5,000 feet divided by 50, that's 100. That's what he's figuring, see? So a 50-foot frontage, let's see, there could be extra because you could put some at the southern part of this property. You can put some on both sides, but, basically $5,000 would pay for the whole property. So, and it'd have to be more than that because it'd have to be the building, the dozing, the work and everything else. But anyway, it's a good thought. And it's in Georgia's heart to do that, that helps people that don't have the wherewithal to get out and to do it, $1,000 down, you can work some of it off, barter, trade, whatever, just, you got to make this much payment a month in some fashion, silver, gold, sweat equity, which would have to be, we're thinking pretty iffy because, someone gets in there and they're a professional at, getting hurt and getting suing, and, well, that ain't gonna, there's no sense in even getting into that stuff. You lose the whole place for everybody because of some, dirt bag. And there are a lot of dirt bags around, so that's probably not going to happen. He was thinking about it before, and I said, what about your sweat equity? And he goes like, well, yeah, do your homework. Think about it. So, all right. Just watch the Bob Newhart thing where the guy comes in, the really rich people, and they're all like, whoa, hoity-toity, and Bob Newhart says, what are you doing? We're suers. What do you do? We sue people. Oh, I tripped. It's a lawsuit. I hurt my knee. Oh, $250 million, and we'll settle out of court. Okay. Anyway, yeah, there are those people out there, so got to avoid that. So, this is Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon. If you're listening to this, you're the remnant. Please listen, hear, and listen. And do OODA. Observe, orient, do, act, whatever. Decide, act. I'll go into more of that. See ya. Bye-bye.